When I was younger, I guess the concept of art was very important to me. And I remember hearing somebody say that you weren't a dancer unless you danced all the time, and it was the center of your life. Well, I thought that was fair enough. A writer writes and a painter paints. The dancer dances. And in the beginning, I sometimes took 5 classes a day. But when I got older, I decided I didn't want to be tortured by somebody else's idea about how I should move. And so I stopped going to classes and I started to try to figure out what it was that I thought movement really was. And sometimes I would dance only in my head. And I enjoyed this, but to other people, it didn't look like dancing particularly. And I thought, well, maybe I wasn't really a dancer because I wasn't dancing in the conventional way. Well, one morning, I was doing the WGBH TV program, and I woke up petrified. I knew that I had to perform my solo that afternoon, and I knew that I wouldn't have time to rehearse myself. So I was lying there absolutely frozen. And then somehow I got the image of Toby being in the bed. We had just shot the day before doing the bed dance. I thought, oh, well, I'll just warm up in bed like I'll be doing the bed dance. And then I thought, well, now I'll do a getting out of the bed dance. And now I'll do a taking a shower dance. And now a drying off dance. And now a getting dressed dance. And now a eating breakfast dance. And now a washing the dishes dance. And now going out of the house dance. And so I danced my way all the way through the day, you know. It changed my life. Now I don't think of dancing as separate from my life.
When I was a little boy, I used to love to dance in my living room.
I'm going to start with telling you how I got started in picture books, and that is, I love sequence, for instance. I love how one thing follows another, so that a picture book is a perfect thing. The thing you hear from a child most when you are reading a child a book is turn the page, turn the page, turn the page, turn the page, turn the page. So that the book is like a series of swinging doors in which every turning of the page brings you into another world. And not only brings you into another world, but continues the thought in either a wild way or a logical way or some way that is developmental. It's about sequence. It's about how you would go from one thing to another.
Well, I started to do drawings in a notebook, and I started to do figures dancing. And I didn't think of how one figure would get to another figure. But I started to do these figures on a page of between 20 or 30 or 40 figures, and then give them to dancers, to soloists and groups of dancers, and have them figure out how to get from one position to another. So they worked on the transitions, and they thereby made the dance. It's their dance, and it's also my dance.
I feel very lucky that I both can draw and paint and move, because, for instance, those airmail dances would never have happened unless I was both a dancer and an artist, you know. And so inventing this new form was something that came out of my personal interest. And I know I have a lot of students who come to me all the time and say, what should I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? I never had that feeling. All I say to them is choose one thing and do it, you know, until you feel that takes you to another place.
The language of dance is basically physical, and if you're looking at it, it's visual. But dance also has a lot of other aspects to it, in the creating of it and also in the description of it.
Plie tendu back, passe, développé, close in, plie
Arms
tendu
around
front,
and down,
right
and
up on the
curve the
passe,
lower
right
spine,
in.
3 and 4, curve over top, curve the upper spine and center and relax.
And there are lots of
elbows.
ways that language can be used to convey both the physicality of the movement and some of the images and thoughts that are used in dancing.
Da da dum, da 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 dee da dum, da dee da da, da dee da dee da dee da dum, da dee da dee da dum, da dee da dee dum, dum 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 dee da dum, da dee da dee da dum, blum ba da dee, blum 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 yum bum 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 yum bum 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 yum yum.